Greetings, everybody. How are you? It's Aaron Roth coming at you, and welcome to the channel. I don't know that I've ever actually done. There's a few videos on here. They've got a lot of attention, way more than I ever figured they would. So I figured I would use this YouTube channel as my personal journal. I was using one for a different practice, and it has kind of disappeared. So I'm starting again, I guess, and I'm using this channel, Afternoon Tea with Lord Aaron, to talk a little bit about, well, just using this as a journal, really. So in this episode, I'm just going to talk a little bit and kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing with this channel. Who am I, why Lord Aaron, and why Afternoon Tea? Well, I think what I decided to do, so to answer first the questions, Lord Aaron. So if you can tell from some of the other videos, if you haven't taken a look at the channel, have a look at the channel, and it'll probably make things a little bit clearer. But I am the holder of one of these, which is part of the Highland Titles environmental land scheme. And I own a souvenir plot from Highland Titles in Glencoe, and this is my award of arms, grant of arms, or whatever it is that they say, saying I'm Lord Aaron Russell John Roth of Glencoe. So, I mean, it's gimmick. I mean, I'm not a member of the House of Lords or anything like that, but according to Highland Titles, I'm Lord Aaron Roth, and that's fine. It's a good bit of fun, and Highland Titles is a great cause because they use the proceeds from, gifting this little bit of fun of being Lord whomever, or Lady whomever, or Laird whomever, for nature conservancy, so both animals and in terms of trees and rehabilitating sort of the devastated landscape of Scotland from intensive farming and other things. So that is why I'm Lord Aaron Roth. I don't take it seriously and don't expect anybody to call me that. It's just what it's just what I have. And in terms of afternoon tea, as you can see, I've actually one of the things I'm planning to do when I make episodes on this is actually have a bit of an afternoon tea. So it's a little scant probably from what most people would expect, but from a traditional afternoon tea, they're far more lavish typically than what you see before you here. But that's okay. I live in Canada and we eat at around 6 o'clock, so afternoon tea never really took hold here in the same way. And so it's deemed as a bit of a luxury, at least in Canada. I think it somewhat is, as far as the fancy schmancy afternoon teas that you see at the various fancy restaurants, the Ritz and the Savoy, etc. in London. More of an anachronism than a real thing. I think afternoon tea for most people generally consists of a ham sandwich and a cup of tea, as I understand it, which is fine, which is more or less what I have here. So I actually do have a little bit of a tray. I suppose I can show it to you. Not very much on it. I have cucumber sandwiches. I have a pumpkin scone and a cinnamon scone, both from Cobb's bread, which if you live in Alberta anyway, you will know. So I'm going to nibble at and have some afternoon tea. I just poured myself a cup of peppermint mocha tea, brought to you by IKEA. And yeah, that's how fancy we are here in afternoon tea with Lord Aaron. So that kind of covers the two biggest pieces. A little bit about myself, just as an introduction. I think that's probably all we'll do in this episode. I live in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada. I have very eclectic interests. I am in a position where I can appreciate certain, how should we say, the finer things of certain elements of traditional British culture and other cultures as well. I could say Japanese culture as well. I work in a parliamentary system, let's just put it that way. And so with that, in a nonpartisan role, and with that comes a certain appreciation for British traditions as far as government and society are concerned. I'm just going to nibble on this. The idea is I'm going to eat and have a conversation with whomever happens to be listening, which probably won't be many people, but there we go. And from time to time may have some guests on doing this with me. In any event, so that's sort of an interest for me. I have an interest in things like the royal family and the history of all these things and sort of traditions like afternoon tea and other traditions. A few other things. I'm a martial artist, traditional martial artist. I haven't practiced much lately, but I do occasionally. Traditional karate do, Gohaku Kai karate do is my style that I practice. I have trained to be a yoga teacher, and but I'm not. I didn't register yet. I probably will by the end of the year. So sometimes you may get a little bit about yoga and that sort of thing in this. I've recently ordained as a novice Zen monk. Soto, well, not quite Soto Zen, but it's, let's just say it follows the path along the lines of Soto Zen. And that was about 2 weeks ago, just over 2 weeks ago. So I'm a Zen practitioner, I'm a Zen novice, Zen priest. I'm not a Zen teacher, I'm not a Zen sensei, I'm not a Zen master by any stretch of the imagination, but I am a novice priest. And so probably some of the content on this channel is also going to start to cover that a little bit as well. So it's gonna be eclectic. It's gonna cover a bunch of different things. I'm a lover of stand-up comedy. I'm a lover of good movies. Yeah, those sorts of things. So those will probably pepper the channel from time to time. And so I just wanted to do this initial episode. I'm hoping that in future episodes, whether it's just me or whether there's other people participating, we will include a smattering of afternoon tea, seeing how it's supposed to be the theme of the channel, and talk about some of the finer things in life. So, yeah, which may not be, it's weird maybe for a Zen priest, but, we live where we're at. So whatever the circumstances are. Yeah, that's it's sort of an odd take on it, but there it is. It's all part of life that is, and the moment that's with us. It's not about celebrating anything in particular. It's more just about discussing interests and talking about, talking about them on this channel as sort of a journal, like I said, for going forward. So, not sure whether this is any good. Probably not. Not sure if anybody's going to watch this. Doesn't really matter. It's a journal for me. So that's how I'm going to be treating it. So thank you if you have made it all the way to the end of the video for watching, and hope to have some content for you relatively regularly on the various topics that I have brought forward so far. All right. Thanks so much. Take care.